Can I interest anyone in a Lockie Neal trading card? They put their weight on the back of these. That is the first level of my haunted house. My weight being recorded anywhere.
If you're going to record my weight, at least lie about it.
Jack Crisp, weight 91 kilos. Wow. Shit. Yeah, right. There you go.
That's a humbling experience.
Damn. Goals 4. Why do you have a card, sir? I could play better than you. Alex Pierce, do better.
Alex listening to this, sobbing in his bed.
Single tear. Oh, what's good, everyone?
Oh, fucking sun's out.
Did you know that there are rules to Minesweeper? That game on...
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I only figured it out like recently. Like I saw a TikTok that explained
Me 20 minutes ago. Crazy.
Yeah. It was
the numbers that come up in the box are the squares that are touching the mine around the square that you've been. Wow. Wow.
Oh, shit.
The amount of time I've wasted just clicking. Potluck.
No, that's how I thought it was meant to be played.
That's
And
what I thought.
when I realized, like I saw on TikTok how it's meant to be played, I told Dad, and Dad was like, what do you mean you didn't realize this the whole time? How have you been playing? And I'm like, you just fucking click a square.
Yeah.
And hope for the best.
Now, also, everyone, I'm just going to get all of my random thoughts out for the day.
The pen.
All the smart people live in Silicon Valley, right? Who thought this was the most futuristic way to charge a fucking iPad pen?
I don't know why yours needs to be like stabbed into it. Mine literally, I just connect to the side and it charges
What do you
magnetically.
mean connect to the side?
Like I literally...
Like if I just take this out of the case...
I don't even need to do that.
What do you...
iPad pen charging side of iPad. You can attach Apple Pencil 2nd generation to the magnetic...
I don't know what gen this is. How do I figure that out?
It looks like the Povo gen. To the magnetic connector on the right side of your compatible iPad to pair and charge it. When did you buy your iPad?
It just says pencil.
iPad
On the right-hand side.
Pencil Gen 1. Yeah, you've got Gen 1.
How do you know?
Because I just Googled it and the photo of yours come up.
What's the difference?
Yours has the silver bit and can take the end off. I can't take the end off mine because I don't plug it in.
I do have the Povo pen.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I get. You pay what you pay what you get for. You get
You
what you
pay
pay
for.
Oh, wow.
Any other thoughts before we dive right in?
No, I think that's it.
I'm sure they'll come to you throughout.
Yeah. You'll know.
Yeah.
I'll let you know immediately.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Anytime.
Yeah, sun's been out. I have not wanted to be out though.
No. Oh, yeah. I've been real sick this week.
You've been sick. I'm
real
just
fucking sick.
I feel like my social battery gone.
Depleted.
Gone. Sorry everyone, that's me.
I'm the same though. I'm not ready to. You know what? I think it's because I know I need to recuperate my financial losses from all the tickets we've been buying recently.
Yeah.
And by we've been buying recently, I mean Caitlin's been buying for me, and I have a lifelong IOU to her. So I feel like I need to recuperate some funds first before I can have fun and play outside.
It's not even that. I just I don't have it in me. I don't have a
and
social...
I also don't want to.
No.
Like I'm not in the mood yet.
I think I'm also saving myself for marriage. No, I'm saving myself for like when like it really warms up, because I know that once it really warms up, we're going to be at the beach or I'm going to be upriver all the time. And that's exhausting in and of itself.
It really is.
And like January is really busy for us pretty much from New Year's through to, no, actually pretty much from December.
Yeah.
When's Beck's 30th? The 14th? December 14?
Yeah, something like that.
Right through to after your birthday. Chock-a-block. Sorry, if you haven't booked us in, we're already busy.
Yeah.
So I'm also like trying to make the most of the quietness while I can. But in saying that, have been watching and reading a lot. So, which is great because that's the whole purpose of this fucking podcast.
Great
so
content.
you should all be thankful for that.
Ma'am.
Let's dive right in.
Pop culture.
What have you? I've got nothing for pop culture.
What do you mean? Zoe Kravitz and
Oh,
what's he do's that broke up?
yeah. Didn't see that coming. Zoe Kravitz and Channing Tatum
There we
announced
go.
their split and the call off of their engagement after being together for 3 years. Did not see that coming at all. I thought they were absolutely head over heels for one another, so in love. Endgame.
It makes so much sense that she would break up with him, because if a man posted a photo of me sleeping on Instagram, I
Dead.
too would want to punch that cunt in the throat. Okay, that's level 2 of my haunted house.
Okay. You sleeping.
No, someone like photographing me sleeping. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
And I'm an ugly sleeper too.
Fair.
Like, I'm starfishing. One hand is wrapped over my head. My left tit is out in the kitchen making breakfast. That's how I sleep.
My first thought was, I wonder if she got the ick from him, like his character in Blink Twice. But then I was like, no, that's how they met. Was on Blink Twice.
Yeah, so they met on Blink Twice, but people are saying that because she's so chronically private, him posting that photo of her really ticked her off. And
everyone, like, this is a serious theory that it was that photo.
Yeah, and like, and he wouldn't delete it either. And so everyone's saying that is what has given her the ick. And people are like, it can't be like a publicity relationship, because they're actually in another movie. I think it's already been filmed, or it's due to start filming soon.
Interesting.
So it's going to be fucking awkward because they still have to work together.
I didn't realize there was so much contention around.
And also,
this.
he's just not as cool as her. So
she's so cool. She
she's
outcalls him by a mile.
So cool.
The other thing as well, he looks like in the photo that he's posted of her sleeping on him.
Creepy.
He looks like he lives in Morphet Vale.
He does though.
And frequents the Vic Hotel.
There's this creator on TikTok, and she like posts a lot about celebrity gossip and stuff. And she was saying that she's thinking that like Channing Tatum, like this is really gonna kind of make him do like a Chris Evans move, where like he realizes that like just because like he's good looking, yes, but he doesn't really offer much else. And so he's gonna try to go for like someone less cool than Zoe Kravitz, like someone that isn't on the same tier as her.
Right. Okay.
So like younger, more like,
Ew.
yeah, just not as popular. And
do you know what it is as well? This whole new look that he's got with the goatee and the like semi beard, disgusting. I've never been more repulsed by this man.
Yeah, he's a bit icky for me. I got to admit, he's a bit icky.
I think I was at work. He came up and people were saying how hot he is and like how they think he's gorgeous. And I'm like, I don't see it.
No, me either.
I think he can be funny, like 21 Jump Street, right? I
yeah.
think he's really good at being like that funny character. He makes me laugh. But I don't think he's hot.
No, me either.
And also anyone who does Magic Mike, that gives like
immediate ick. Sorry.
like dancing and stripping.
No.
Yeah, no, it's not for me. Gives me the immediate ick.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. So good for her. Hope she's thriving.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I don't see it as a loss from her end. So.
No way. She could get someone so cool. Just crazy to me that they literally split over an Instagram photo. Like, good on her. Facts.
Nah, fair.
Fair,
So
but it's
fair.
like also crazy.
Yeah, agreed.
He posts so many selfies on his Instagram. This is nuts.
It's so yucky.
Like
Okay, thank you. Men should not be posting on Instagram. I said this in the car when I was delusional with the flu.
Dude, you're so funny.
No. Genuinely, why are you posting? Build something. I don't understand. Why? Why are you thirst trapping on Instagram?
And then I said, I think it would be so fucking funny if every time a man posted on Instagram and it came up on your feed, you commented saying, go build something. Go back to war.
I might start because I'm just sick of it.
No.
I'm sick of it.
It's so funny to me. So fucking funny.
Like, I don't know. Who are you trying to impress? It's not working.
Yeah. Fair. Well, good for you, because this whole episode, not that any other episode is any different, but we can really rip into men because the Love is Blind reunion happened this week, and that really just gave us some fucking shit to talk about.
Yeah.
So, season 7 reunion came out on Thursday, and I wholeheartedly will say this is probably the best reunion for Love is Blind I've ever seen. There was so much drama. It was so juicy. Everyone was off their fucking rocker. It was so good. So let's go through the order of the couples. I'm going to get the boring ones out of the way.
I'm getting cold now.
Taylor and Garrett.
This pen is just sending me. Yeah, you keep going.
Taylor and Garrett. So
lost the lid.
you are so annoying already. So Taylor,
hands on deck. Find my lid. God, that's never coming back.
So Taylor and Garrett, they are still together, still absolutely in love with one another.
I love that.
I love them. I love them individually. I love them together, but they're in a good way boring. They really...
Yeah, they had no updates.
No.
Outside of fishing.
Outside of fishing, the only real update was when they were like on the show. A big thing for Taylor was that she wanted to move to San Diego to be closer to her family. That's where she always envisioned raising children. They're currently living closer to his family because since the show was filmed, they've spent time like traveling and being here, there and everywhere. And he said he really struggled with being away from his family. So they're currently living closer to his family, which was a surprise to me. But like, she seems to be all for it. So
yeah,
whatever. The next boring couple, in a good way, they're not really a couple, Leo and Brittany.
Yeah.
They were on the reunion. Brittany really didn't say a whole lot besides like jumping in here and there. But Leo, he got quizzed about how often he talked about his like financial status and his job on the show, despite always saying that he didn't want to. I think he handled it really well. I liked his response. He was just straight up like making fun of himself, being like, yeah, clearly I care about it way more than I thought I did.
Yeah.
Like I was bringing it up left, right and center. At no point did he deny anything. He didn't do the whole, I'm taking accountability, I've been working on myself.
Yeah.
That he was just like, yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. And I kept saying it and I shouldn't have, kind of thing. I was like, hats off to you, my dude. Mad respect. That was really all that happened with them. Then let's jump into Ashley and Tyler. So Ashley and Tyler had probably some of the biggest drama this show off the show on social media, because as the show was being aired, it came out that because he said he was a sperm donor, but there was more to it than that. He was actually proactively in these kids' lives, like we've talked about it before, kind of thing. So they got questioned at the reunion. Well, Ashley really did, being like, did you know everything that has come out on social media? Like, what was your stance on it all? And Ashley was like, I knew everything during, like, when we were filming. She was like, I'm not an idiot. And, like, we talked about it, but he didn't want it to be on the show. So we'd spoken about it off camera, and then we were very selective in the way that we talked about it on camera, because she was like, I couldn't lie. I couldn't pretend like none of it had happened. And so she's like, we had to talk about it in some way, shape or form, but we just kind of manufactured what we said. And they admitted to lying. Like, she straight up was like, when I'd asked him on camera if the kids knew what he looked like, and he said no, that was a straight up lie, and we knew that he was lying, and it was purely because he was trying to protect the kids and his whole situation. They acknowledged that it kind of backfired, but I believe everything that she said, and it actually made me care less about the situation, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, agreed. I'm glad that they like cleared it up, because that was going into the reunion. That was what I wanted to know, was like whether they were still together and like what her reaction was to all the stuff coming out. And like, I don't know, it kind of made me appreciate Tyler more as well
Yeah.
for like wanting to protect like his family and his friends and things like that. And I'm glad that he went about it the right way and like she knew about it the whole time and it was just for the cameras that they had to like make up a story.
Yeah.
So good on him. I think they're solid.
No, so do I. I have no issue with them lying on camera for the reasons that they did. And
like it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And if I was in their position, I probably would have done the same thing. It was more when it was all coming out for me being like, if she doesn't know about this while they're filming, that's fucked. Like, and because we're seeing him say one thing, but we're seeing a different thing on social media. But now knowing that he had told her everything, it was just off camera, then I'm like, oh, you guys do you. Like, whatever. And it's her decision whether she wants to be part of that or not.
Yeah, 100%.
And she's made that decision, so good on her. Other than that, there was no drama with them, which is quite surprising because I thought that was going to be some of the biggest drama. Then the next one would be like Tim and Alex for me. Yeah. So they had a pretty abrupt split in the show where he just decided like 2 days after meeting her father and being like, can I marry your daughter? No, I'm out. They went at it at the reunion, but I feel like I don't know what they were saying. Like they were just fighting.
Again, no context to
they were
still.
just.
And at that point, I had kind of tapped out. I was like, all right, and I've seen all that I need to see.
I think it really just came down to the fact that they're very different people who have very different values and morals.
She looked great, though.
She did.
Oh, what a woman.
And I will say, the reunion was, at one point, the most personality I've ever seen from Tim.
Oh,
in the whole show.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this man can speak. That's crazy.
Then Stephen and Monica. So I was surprised Stephen came to the reunion, and when he just annoys me, like the way that he speaks drives me up the wall.
He looks like a Sheen Seth Rogen.
Yes, he does. But the way that he speaks, he wore glasses and he was over articulating himself, trying to sound smarter and more put together than what I think he actually is, right? Because I think he was overcompensating for the fact that on the show, his whole personality was about sex. So he was trying to come across as like, I read books.
Yeah.
And that did my fucking head in. And then when they got asked about the whole sleep study cheating thing, he very quickly was like, I fucked up. Yes, I'm, I don't know, whatever. Blamed it on himself.
Therapy. I put the work in.
The whole stupid thing. Then he was like, I felt so bad that I wrote a letter to Monica's parents and gave it to her parents, and immediately she was like, I fucking knew you the minute you did that you did it so that you could bring it up at the reunion. I loved that. I went, call him fucking out. I love this. And she was right. He did it so that he could come across as like not as bad as what he was. And then he flipped the story and he moped about it and he said, nobody wants to hear my side of the story, and refused to talk about it. And I'm like, playing the victim again, just like he did on the show. As soon as people were like calling him out on shit, he was like, oh, no one wants to hear my side. No one cares.
You're right. We don't, because you fucked up.
Yeah.
So you did what you did.
Yeah.
I don't care why.
Like,
you've done it already.
This is not Steven's redemption arc. Like, we're not here to hear, like, we are not sitting here waiting to hear you read out this fucking crisis comm statement that you've pre-drafted to make yourself look better. You're a fuckhead. Just admit it.
Yeah.
That simple.
Like, rather than like wanting people to hear your story, why don't you like make your actions match how remorseful you are and just be better in the future? Like, really move past it.
He's so annoying.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
I just know that if we met him in person.
It's the same thing with Zach Bryan. Like, you're saying how great this person is that you've fucked over, but oh no, wait, but you also need to realize how great I am and that I'm human and that I make mistakes. No, just be better in the future.
I don't need to realize that.
No,
shut up.
Sorry.
I did have a thought driving here though, because I was listening to Zach Bryan, and I've made a conscious decision that there's two Zach Bryans in the world. There's music Zach Bryan, and then there's real Zach Bryan, and I'm disassociating.
They're not the same. Yeah.
If he did a tour, like an Australian tour, I'm going.
You'll be going alone. I'm saying that much.
Well, let's hope my cousins want to go. Okay, now on to the juicy ones. Because I feel like those ones, they had their moments, but it wasn't as juicy as the next few. So Marissa and Ramses, they broke up literally the day before the wedding, I'm pretty sure. And it was so heartbreaking to watch because right up until that point, Ramses was reassuring her, being like, I don't have doubts. And then it was, Marissa got blindsided and she was hysterical. It was actually really hard to watch. Her mum on the show, I was like, you're a bit much. I'm scared of you. You went really hard. Her at the reunion, I was like, put this bitch's face on a fucking t-shirt and I'm wearing it.
Make merch, yeah.
She so calmly and so eloquently ripped into Ramses. And I loved every second of it. She said, and I've got a quote here.
I love that. She
said to Ramses, this is only a snippet of what she said overall. She goes, she, like as in Marissa, really felt like she came into this experiment. She was going to meet her one and you broke her. I had to pick her up. She was devastated. You didn't get to see that part. You got to walk away and cry like you were the one who was hurt. You weren't there to pick up the pieces of my daughter. You broke her. Goosebumps. Yeah. But here.
Period.
And the way that, the other thing that I really liked was Ramses was, telling his side of it or whatever. And Marissa pulled him up and she was like, everything you're saying is I. At no point did you ever consider me and ever consider my feelings in this, which is why you didn't tell me earlier on. You only ever thought about yourself. And I was like, yeah, facts. He got rinsed. I actually at one point felt bad for him, but then I was like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
You did wrong. I love Marissa and I love her mum now. I'm trying to think. More came up with them, but it wasn't like it was more so just around like the breakup kind of thing.
They brought stuff to filming.
Yeah, they brought stuff. Her yelling that across the stage.
So blasé too.
And then her
everyone's
mom's
like,
reaction. It was like, oh my God.
Oopsies.
I almost feel like she forgot where she was for a moment.
Yeah.
Then probably the biggest part of the whole reunion was Nick and Hannah. That was fucked. So they came out and like Nick and Vanessa, I think her name is, were quizzing Hannah about like, looking back, do you feel bad about the way that you treated Nick? And she was like, no. She just kept being like, that's just who I am. I'm blunt. I'm direct.
Yeah. She was like, yes, I probably could have delivered it a little bit better, but like I'm working on that. But at the end of the day, that's who I am. Like I'm blunt. I'm direct. I'm to the point.
Yeah.
Like either you love it or you don't.
And I still I feel like she kept missing the point of it. And it was like her just being like, no, that's just who I am. I'm like, dude, no, you really were a cunt on the show. Like you were a really nasty piece of work to him. But then we find out that Nick had been telling everyone that when he first saw her, his first impression of her was that she was a grenade and he wasn't into her, which he denied to the nth degree. And he was going to die on that hill until Ramses and Stephen, of all people, were like, no, yeah, you told us.
You said that.
You told us.
Hand on heart.
And we told our missus at the time. And yeah, we're throwing
Everyone's like, we know you said that. And Nick's like, no, I didn't.
I was like, dude, how embarrassing. Like, you're just...
And then Nick Lachey turns to Stephen and he's like, Stephen, I hate to throw you under the bus and like bro code and all that, but like, did Nick actually say that? And he's like, oh yeah. Didn't even skip a beat. I was like...
It was the only moment that I didn't hate Stephen.
I feel like they were more than happy to throw him under the bus if it could deflect from their drama.
Yes.
And you know what? It worked.
Yeah. So then knowing that, I felt bad for Hannah. And I was like, if she'd known that while they were together, it kind of explains why she was so nasty to him. But also, why be with someone who thinks that of you?
Yeah.
Like if I was on the show and I find out, the minute I find out that the person that I'm with, his first impression of me was that I was a grenade or like I wasn't up to par, I would have been like, dude,
Let's
the cameras.
cut it. Yeah.
We're out.
100%. And like, I feel like fair enough if Nick felt that way, but like, don't go telling that to the entire cast except for like the person that it impacts.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to get round to her anyway.
No one needs to know that.
Yeah. And like, if you've got issues with someone or the way that they look, either say it to their face or keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse for telling everyone that she's a fucking grenade. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
So I do feel bad for her because I feel like going into the show, she had self-confidence issues, and that just exacerbated it. And I feel like she's still struggling with that a little bit. And then it came out while they're all piling on Nick, Hannah exposed that while filming, she found a diary entry.
Oh, yeah.
In his diary where Nick had written almost like a manifestation list. It was like 3 dot points. The first one was, I want to sell 2 homes in the next year. I want to be like the fittest I've ever been within the next 2 weeks. This like list was made just before filming. And then the like third one was, I want to be the most famous person who's ever been on Love is Blind.
Everyone's jaw hit the fucking deck.
And Hannah was like, here you go, at the reunion, and totally exposed him. I actually I'm not that mad at him about it.
Like, I feel like he was just being, like, he didn't own up to it. And he just tried to weasel his way out of it. And he was like, oh, like, my friend told me to do it. And, like, those were just, like, the first 3 things that came up in my mind.
Yeah.
And, like, that doesn't mean, like, and, like, the whole pretense was that, like, because he wrote that one of his goals was to be the most famous person from Love is Blind, it kind of made it seem like his reasons for being on the show weren't very genuine.
Yeah.
And so
I feel like you can go on the show. So, like, if it was me, right, and I went on the show, I'd be going onto the show with a hope that I'd meet the right person. But I'd also be like, the chances of that actually happening are slim to fucking none. So, if I can get anything out of the show, maybe, like, to be honest, I wouldn't want to get famous out of it. But if I was him, I'd be like, then maybe, like, I can get famous out of it, right? And it can help me with my job or whatever. That's how I feel like he saw it. It wasn't that, like, he didn't want to meet the person. Like, he wasn't there for the right reasons. It's just that he maybe thought that the likelihood of that happening was slim to none.
But again, have some fucking awareness of what's going on other than yourself. And think about how that would look if someone were to find it.
Yeah, who leaves that just open on a bench?
You know what I mean?
That's
like,
crazy.
Think it through, pal. Like,
And
again, clean up after yourself, you cretin.
Yeah.
Like, stop leaving your shit lying around.
And then Hannah's, like, piling into Nick at the reunion.
And so is Marissa.
And Marissa jumps in.
She's, guns a-ho.
That was really uncomfortable. I actually felt bad for him at that point.
Yeah, like, let Hannah say her piece. Like, stay in your lane, essentially.
Uh-huh.
Like, you can support her, absolutely, but, like, you don't need to be tag teaming on that one.
Yeah, you don't need to jump in and start, like, yelling at him across the thing. I get what she was saying. She was not dismissing the fact that Hannah was a bitch.
No.
And all she wanted was for Nick to own up.
Just be honest.
On his shit, but also it's not your battle.
No, yeah.
It's not your fight. Like, that, it's a messy place to be. But it was very entertaining to watch. So, thank you for that. And that really was the reunion summed up.
Yeah. I think, Nick and Hannah are both kind of to blame with how that relationship went. I feel like it was never going to work. It really was never going to work.
No. And also for Hannah ripping into him for wanting to be the most famous person on Love is Blind. But she's the one, since the show's aired, who has a cameo. She's constantly posting to TikTok. Like, she's trying to, like, make the most out of it, which, all credit to you. You do you. But then don't attack him for manifesting
the same thing. Yeah. I just feel like they both bring out the worst in each other.
Yeah, those two, and then Tim and Alex should never be in the same room as one another. Yeah. That was nasty and messy.
Yeah.
I thought it was bold of Garrett at one point to step in and kind of stick up for Nick and be like, this whole conversation is so immature, and, like,
Just sit there. Just let it hash
just-
out. What do you expect? It's love is... Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, but
Yeah, just
this is what I want. It's a reality TV
your
reunion.
Thoughts to yourself, sir.
Like,
Just be grateful you're not involved.
No one wants to watch a boring reunion. Like,
Exactly.
are you kidding me?
Exactly.
Controversial. I don't like his new hair.
Oh. I love that Garrett and Taylor dressed like they were going to the Met Gala.
I know.
And everyone else is just normal.
They look so good.
They look like they were auditioning for Gladiator.
I thought he was hotter when he was on the show.
You reckon?
I don't like this new model look. It's not for me.
Yeah, okay. Fair.
But that was the Love is Blind reunion.
There you go.
Wrapped up. They've already announced the next season. They even had some of the cast in the audience.
They
which I
look
thought was
clapped.
weird.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, not
What's in that water? Get it away from me.
not excited for that. But I'll watch it.
Well, I mean, we got to.
I'll always watch it. Can't
We got
stop
to.
me.
Yeah. What else have we watched this week?
Well, we watched a movie together last night.
We watched 2 movies together last night.
Let's talk about Don't Move.
Yep.
So we watched Don't Move on Netflix, which is a thriller.
It's just released.
Just released.
Recent.
The synopsis is when a killer injects her with a paralytic agent, a woman must run, fight, and hide before her body completely shuts down. Thoughts?
None. It was so mid. Like, I see like reviews online and people are saying like it's anxiety inducing. You'll be at the edge of your seat. False.
False. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No.
It kind of, it filled the time.
Yeah.
Would I recommend it to someone? No.
Yeah.
It was very predictable,
Yeah.
I feel. I don't know. It was just there.
It was what it was.
It was what it was.
Yeah. There was one point where the guy was like convinced that he was God and this is why he was doing what he was doing. And I was just like, man.
Yeah. Typical. He had like a wife and a child and they rang him and were like, we're going to come visit you at the cabin where he like stores his fucking victims. And I was like, typical. I was like, if I date a man and he ever goes to leave the house, immediately I'm going to be like, who are you killing?
Yeah. That's all you could be doing.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Nothing else. Also, the film starts with they meet hiking up this giant like Mount Lofty-esque thing. That's how I know I'd never die because you're not going to catch me hiking.
And this girl's like, she's just lost her son, right? Because she wasn't watching him when they were camping at the same spot. And then he just like tumbles over the edge. And so she's like, I can't live anymore. My kid's dead. I'm going to off myself as well. And so she's about to jump. And then this man just pops up right next to her. And he's like, oh, don't do that. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you about me and my story. And I turned to Caitlin and I was like, you know what would make me want to jump if a man came up to me and started telling me his story? That is enough reason to end it all, honestly. Sorry, did anyone ask you for your life advice?
Right. And then the funniest part of it all is so she was going to kill herself. And then he obviously is like, actually,
I would like to do that instead. To you.
Now that you mention it, that sounds like a bit of me. Tries to kill her. And she goes over and above to survive. And I'm like, that's not the attitude of someone who wanted to die a moment ago.
I'd be like, thank you.
Dude, and she's doing the most. And I'm not someone that wants to die, but I'm not putting in that much effort.
Oh, no.
Dude, she's swimming with her fucking arms tied together. No.
Yeah, no,
Couldn't be me.
sorry.
I would have just, like, because the whole thing was he was going to take her back to the cabin, his cabin, and God knows what with her there. And that's when, like, she finds out that the wife and daughter are planning to come to the cabin that night. I would have just gone back to the cabin and tried my luck.
I would be intrigued to see what he had planned. What romantic weekend do you have in line for me, sir?
I am disappointed that we didn't get to see the mother and daughter come and realize that this man is a fuckhead.
Yeah.
Sad about that.
I'd like a bit more feminine rage in it. I think if they, like, the victim, the wife, and the daughter all just banded together and just, like, ripped him a new one.
Better.
Yeah, that would have been great.
So,
yeah.
to the writers,
Think
Scrap
it through.
everything that you did.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely make her go back to the cabin. Then, and she's like paralyzed or whatever. And she's like in a basement situation. And then the mother and daughter come. And somehow, like, the daughter finds her. Right? And then she's able to somehow communicate, like, with the blinking and shit, that she's a victim. And then so they secretly all work together. Yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Too much men on my screen. And it was so frustrating to watch because she was paralyzed, and so she'd be trying to do something to like try and get like escape, but her body wouldn't respond, and so it's like a 10-minute scene of her trying to move one finger, and I was like, oh my god.
Just
it's an easy watch though.
Yeah.
It's not a hard watch.
If you want to pass the time, that'll do it.
It'll do it. Like,
What would you rate it out of 5?
like a 2.5?
Yeah, I was going to give it a 2.
2.5, I reckon.
Yeah.
I don't regret watching it, but I'm not gonna recommend
No.
it to someone else.
No.
Then we also watched, what's it called? The Amazing Life of
The Secret Life? I can't remember.
let me get it. Secret Life of Ibelin. Oh dear. Oh no.
What?
The Remarkable Life of Ibelin.
Oh, very close.
So it's about the secret life of a young World of Warcraft gamer who is vividly reimagined when his online friends contact his family after his death. So this was a random one that we just came across. It's a documentary on Netflix, and it starts out very typical documentary style where you've got interviews with like his parents. And there's like childhood footage of him, and they're just kind of setting the scene, like talking about him. And so his name is Mats Steen, and he was diagnosed when he was a young child with a form of degenerative muscular disease, which effectively, as he got older, he became like his muscles became weaker. So like when he was a kid, he could like walk and stuff, but then by the time he was an adult, he was fully like neck to the side
bound.
in a chair, couldn't move his whole body, whatever. So when he was like a teenager, he got into video gaming because he couldn't do anything else. He was in a wheelchair. So he got into World of Warcraft, and then over the span of 10 years, he was heavily involved, like spent his whole life playing this game and built like friendships and shit.
Was part of a guild.
Yeah. Starlight Guild.
Guild.
Respect.
Yeah, it was helping like people navigate their own relationships like outside of the game. Like
Crazy.
there's a mother and a son, and like the son's autistic and the mum really wants to connect with him, but like she really struggles, and so she goes into World of Warcraft because that's the game that her son plays, and she comes across Matt's, and he's like, oh, like why don't you try connecting with your son through something that he enjoys. And then they end up like really like forming a connection in World of Warcraft, like the mum and the son. And like there's a point where she's like, I want nothing more than to just like have my son hug me. And the son's like, I never really wanted to give her that physical affection because I never felt a connection with my mum. And like there's a point where in World of Warcraft there's like an emote that you can use, and they end up hugging, and it's just so sweet.
I turned to Danica and I said, next time someone goes to hug me, I'm going to go, you're going to have to meet me in World of Warcraft.
Literally.
I'm sorry. And it was crazy because they were able to, so he played like 22,000 hours worth of this game over the span of 10 years. And they were able to download the entire game logs from him playing, and then they recreated it through animation using like, because the logs would tell you like what the characters did, what they said to one another, all of that. But then it integrated with like interviews from the people that he met through the game, one of which was like this girl that he fell in love with in the game. And it was kind of like funny because it was just a bunch of like Dungeons and Dragons nerds coming together. But also, if Sims 4 had the same online multiplayer open world like capabilities that World of Warcraft has, this would be me.
I'd never see you again.
I would, but you would message me and be like, do you want to get an acai? And I'd be like,
No.
yeah, I'm at this cafe in Sims 4.
Yeah,
Log
meet
on.
me there. Yeah.
Log on now. I'd have so many boyfriends.
Literally,
So
it's
many.
crazy. So, like, there was a point where Matt's was starting to, like, almost be like a womanizer, and he was, like, talking to different women on World of Warcraft. And the Starlight Guild, they were all going to meet up because they'd been playing together for, like, years at this point, and they were like, oh, let's all kind of meet in the middle,
Yeah.
meet each other in real life.
They're from like Denmark, Norway,
UK.
yeah.
And so they were all going to go. And so one of the girls asks Matt's like, oh, like, are you going to come? And like, no one kind of knows that he's sick. And so he's like, he keeps making up excuses. And like, this girl wants to like video chat with him and like do a phone call at least. But like, he's almost like not like, I don't want to say he's nonverbal, but like he really struggles to speak by himself because he's hooked up to tubes and stuff to help him breathe. So he can't even like video call or phone, like voice call or anything.
And he's so embarrassed. Like that was the whole reason he went into this game. And he made his character this big tough guy because he was so embarrassed that in real life he was nothing like that.
Yeah. And so he keeps putting it off and like gives excuses and stuff. So he doesn't go to the catch up with everyone. But he sees like all the photos online and stuff, and like it just, I don't know, I feel like it makes him feel really bad about his situation. And so he kind of like pushes everyone away in the game because he knows that he won't ever really have that connection that they all do. And then towards the end of his life, he kind of tells everyone that he's like really sick and like his time's coming to an end pretty much.
Yeah.
And it rocks everyone. And then they all come to his funeral.
Yeah,
which
because
is really sweet.
when he passed, his parents knew that he had, like, he was very, active in online gaming. So they managed to access he had a blog, and they posted to his blog about him passing, and they didn't know if anyone would even see it. And they included an email that if anyone saw it and wanted to, they could contact them. And they got inundated with people who Matt's had played World of Warcraft with, emailing them, like saying like really nice things about Matt's and, the type of person that he was and all this kind of stuff. And then, a few of them asked if they could attend the funeral. And one of them, the leader of the Starlight Guild, spoke at the funeral. Which was quite touching. Yeah.
And the dad was like, one of the biggest regrets when Matt's died was that like he wasn't around for long enough to really make an impact on anyone's life. Like he was so online and like couldn't really do a lot and like wasn't really involved with other kids his age. So he wasn't able to make those connections and have that impact and experience a lot of what other people are able to experience.
Yeah.
And then to have all of these people come in and tell them how much Matt's had changed their lives and like impacted their relationships with other people for the better and made them feel seen and included. Like, oh, it was just so sweet. It was really sweet.
One funny part though. So Matt died when he was 25. And then when he was about 17 was roughly when he met this one female like in the game that he really liked, and all of a sudden she's like not online ever, and time goes by and she manages to get back online. And she explains like her parents took her computer away and that's why she hasn't been online, because like her grades were slipping and they didn't understand. Anyways, Matt wrote a letter to her parents being like,
please reconsider.
Yeah, like it's making her really depressed. Like, hopefully, like you guys can come to.
There's a better solution.
There's a better solution. It was actually like really sweet. But I was saying when we were watching it, if I received a letter like that when I was 12 playing Habbo Hotel, and I presented it to my parents, I would have been arrested. My parents would have called the police. I would have lost my computer access entirely.
Mark would be like, you're taking the piss.
No,
like,
Mark,
who is this 46-year-old man writing me a letter?
Yeah, Mark would have, like, they would have called the police. I never would have been allowed to leave the house after that. Like, they would have lost all privileges that I had. And I would become a story on, like, some nonce Netflix series. Like, I really would. So I just thought it was funny, like her presenting this letter to her
And
parents.
I mean, it worked though, because she got back online, which is crazy.
It worked. Oh, that's fucking fire. Yeah.
There's a part where like people from the Starlight Guild, they're the pallbearers for Matt's coffin.
Sorry, it's not funny, but it is.
We got to that point and I turned to Caitlin and I'm like, I'm going to make sure that my dying wish is that you are my only pallbearer. You are going to be the only one responsible for lifting my coffin
And
to
you
the
were
car.
such a cunt because then
Could you imagine Caitlin just dragging my fucking coffin along the ground and just grumbling the whole time? Oh, this fucking bitch.
I'd be crying not because she's died, but because this bitch has made me responsible for carrying it when I have a bad back and I have no upper body strength. I'd be kicking the fucking thing in front of everyone. I'd just get a shovel and start digging the floor of the church and be like, just fucking bury her here. Like, I don't care.
I've also told Caitlin that when I die, she needs to sit next to my grave because I don't want to have to make new friends alone with all the other ghosts. I need to look cool. I need to have a friend.
Oh, fuck. It was actually... Do you know what? So I called Mark on my way home last night and I was like, oh, me and Danica watched this. And he knew about it.
Oh.
Mark would, though. He would be leader of the Starlight Guild.
He would.
Yeah, he knew about it. He was like, oh, yeah, I've heard about it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I really want Sims 4 to get an online multiplayer version, like mode, because I'm not opposed to making friends online and role-playing. So.
I thought it was a really creative way to present a documentary about someone's life. I thought it was like, I thought it was creative.
I want you to do that, but with Sims.
Okay.
And also at the end, his tombstone, his family had like his name, obviously, but then in quotations in the middle of his name, his online gaming tag, which was Ibelin. I want my tombstone, even though I'm getting cremated, I want it to say, Caitlin, it's Babine Slater.
Fucking it's Babine.
That's what I want. Yours is going to say Danica Connor Ball Brown.
Danica Nudie Nary Brown.
Oh, fuck. I'm going to etch in.
Screaming.
You know how you can get those Spotify like waves and if you scan it, it takes you to a song? I'm going to etch it in and I'm going to take you.
It's going to be like Katy Perry's Firework in Singlish.
It's going to be Strip That Down by Liam Payne. Also, I was playing Sims the other day, right? Minding my fucking business. I'm in a bar trying to meet men, right?
Okay.
And
Predator.
like, obviously, you have like Sim songs playing. And I go, is that the Vamps? The Vamps were playing in Simlish in this bar. And I went, I'm being haunted right now. Yeah.
Imagine fucking Bradley Simpson just in a recording studio.
Right.
Just speaking and singing in Singlish.
Dude.
That's crazy.
That knocked me for 6. The other thing that I've started watching this week, I don't think you've started yet, Territory.
No.
On Netflix. So it's a new TV show. It's only 6 episodes, but they're quite long. They're like an hour or over an hour each. And it's when the world's largest livestock farm is left without a successor, the most powerful factions in the Australian outback, miners, landowners, cowboys and gangsters start preparing their weapons.
Are there really gangsters in the outback?
Gangsters is a loose term. Like that's not the word I would use to describe it. More like,
what's our equivalent of the mafia? Like the underbelly, I guess.
Yeah, the underbelly and like
droogs.
And we have like the gangs and stuff, particularly in Melbourne.
Oh yeah, like motorcycle gangs.
Yeah, bikies.
Yeah, bikies. Yeah,
yeah, that would be our version.
That would be the mafia, wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's not really like that. It's just a bunch of.
When I read the synopsis, it came across like Succession meets, what was the other one that I said? Yellowstone meets Kath and Kim.
It's honestly, I've seen the first 3 episodes and I sat down and I started watching episode 1, and I was like, this feels like an exact replica of season 1, episode 1 of Yellowstone, but just in the Northern Territory.
Yeah.
But it is slightly different. It is very similar to Yellowstone. And
okay.
I will say it is good. I personally prefer Yellowstone. But for me, the Australian thing doesn't appeal to me. Like, when I watched Yellowstone, I wanted to go to Yellowstone. I was like, oh my God. Like, that to me is what I envision cowboys, right? And I was like, that Yellowstone, the most beautiful, like, you know, landscapes. And I was like, that is my dream. I wanted to go there. I've watched 3 episodes of Territory. You'll never see me leave the fucking CBD now. I am terrified. This one has made me scared. Like, I am scared of the Australian outback.
Yeah.
The shit
Anything could happen down there.
The
Up
shit
there?
that's like going on. I mean, this is obviously a show, but like the shit that they have going on, and like also the fact that it's like you're in the middle of nowhere. It's so hot because it's based in the Northern Territory.
I hate that. Yeah.
So hot. Like, it's just, I'm like, nah, this one gives me the heebie-jeebies. This one as well, there's some scenes and I'm like, oh, that's a lot.
Are you enjoying it though?
It is good.
Okay.
It is good, and I can see why everyone's raving about it right now. I'll be interested to see, because like 6 episodes isn't a lot for a first season. So I'll be interested to see like what happens next.
And if it gets renewed.
I think it will get renewed. It's so popular right now. I was very fascinated on like what was it based on. So a lot of the filming took place in the Northern Territory, but also some of it took place in South Australia. And I was like, because the main family, the Lawsons, they are the biggest cattle station in the world, right? In the show. And I was like, oh, I wonder if it's based on like a real thing. And then when I Googled it, it came up with, there's this cattle station in South Australia. It's like near Cooper Pedy, called Anna Creek Station. And it's like meant to be, it's the world's largest working cattle station. So that's what the Lawsons are based off of.
Yeah.
And it's so big, it's like, it's massive. And then like the Lawsons one, Netflix did a post and it's meant to be like 2 times this, like imagine 2 Londons.
What?
Kind of thing. Like, these cattle stations are fucking huge.
Damn.
So this one, like the real one, covers 15,746 square kilometers.
That means nothing to me.
Imagine like for you to get from one side to the other. Is that what that means? It's like 15,000 kilometers. Like, it's so big. This is why they have helicopters, like personal helicopters, because it's so big. You can't just drive from one side to the other.
Huh.
This is the photo. Like, that's how big it is.
That still means nothing to me.
Like, imagine that one farm.
Like,
that's
put
one
that
farm.
with like against a country.
Adelaide's like there. Okay.
Like, put a country on it that's the same size.
How? Countries the same size as Anna Creek.
But this ties in really well because for the people playing at home,
It's the same size as Israel.
I don't know how big Israel is.
Well, you asked. You fucking asked.
Is it like same size as Tasmania? Smaller.
No, I think it's smaller. Belgium is only 1.29 times as big as Anna Creek Station. So it's almost the same size as fucking Belgium.
Okay. Wow, so it's big.
Yeah.
For long-time listeners, aka people that
thought that was
listened
more.
to our show last week, I think it was,
Yeah.
I was bitching about how I hate Goodreads, and all of you beautiful, lovely people that deserve a big fat kiss on the forehead recommended Fable to us.
I love Fable.
Has changed my life, and I only bring it up because it's a show that tracks not only your book.
You reckon?
Yeah, it should be. Netflix should make a show about it. That's how good it is. It's an app, and it tracks not only your books, like what Goodreads does, but it also tracks your, is it movies and TV?
Just TV shows.
Just TV.
Yeah.
Tracks your TV as well.
Yeah.
And so Caitlin had the genius idea of of making a book club on there and also like a watch club as well.
Yeah, so you can join our book club and watch club. So it's Delulu Diaries book club and then Delulu Diaries watch club.
Yeah.
I've linked both in our links, which are in every bio of ours ever.
And I love it. So territory's on there. That's the segue that I was going for when
Yeah.
talking about Fable.
Yeah.
But I am obsessed with this app.
It's good. And it's going to take a minute for it to like get its legs, like our groups and stuff. But essentially we'll announce like what what we're watching will be changed. Like we'll change more frequently, but we'll do the book monthly and we'll announce it. And then there's like, an overall chat for the book club or the watch club, but then you've got a chat for like the kickoff, and then you can like comment and chat based on each chapter or episode,
which I love,
and then like a final review kind of one. So it's like we're so excited because obviously we yap about it every week, but now you can yap along with us in real time and see what we would normally text each other when we're reading or watching these things. Like,
I love this app. This is literally the app of my dreams.
The interface is stunning.
Yes, and you can bring over your data from Goodreads.
Yeah.
So everything transfers over.
So easy.
You can even transfer over like your watch list and the stuff that you've watched from Netflix. Like it's honestly unreal.
The interface, stunning. So many stats.
Yeah, I love the stats.
All the fucking stats that you could want. And also, I was testing this out today. There's like this what's your mood for your next read?
Yeah, I did that today too.
And you like fill out this little quiz and then it will generate 5 or 6 different recommendations for you. And they were good recommendations.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fucking hard.
And like I've noticed because we've both finished Funny Story, which we'll talk about in a second. And we posted our reviews and your reviews are public even though we posted it in our book club. And so people were like commenting on your review and like reacting to it. You can post just normal posts. So I've done one doing a call out for like a good horror read. Amazing.
Yeah. People are really interactive on it, which I absolutely fucking love. So whoever created Fable, you're doing it right, doll.
So if you
want... And now we are hosting a coup on Goodreads. Fuck Goodreads.
Fuck Goodreads. Yeah. Goodreads is dead.
Burn in hell.
So if you want to be part of our book club and watch club, even if it's just you want to see what we are reading and watching and what we say about it, like we'll still talk about it on the pod, don't worry. But come join the book and watch clubs. Like I said, the links are in our bios. So let's jump into Funny Story.
Yes.
So we announced last week that our next read was going to be Funny Story. This is now our book for November. We have already finished it.
I think. Oh, okay, yeah, because I guess other people haven't.
I feel bad. I don't want to like speed through it,
Yeah.
but like if people start to comment like as they're reading it, we'll still chime in, kind of thing. But I think let's stick to monthly for book club. So, Funny Story, typical rom-com. It's about this girl who her name's Daphne. She's in her early 30s, and her fiance leaves her like days before they're due to get married because his female best friend declares her love for him, and then so he leaves Daphne for the female best friend.
Yep.
And so in this,
like right after like they have the Bucks party, and then the next day he's like, I love my best friend, bye.
He was like, because she went to the Bucks party. And he was like, she announced her love for me. And I went, facts. So I'm going to blow up my whole life. So Petra was in a long-term relationship with this guy named Miles. And then Daphne was obviously with Peter. So Peter and Petra get together, right? Hated that their names were so similar.
Yeah.
I kept getting confused. And then Daphne has nowhere to live because Peter owned the house that they lived in. And she's not native to Michigan or wherever they live. And so
Peter's like, I don't love you anymore. I love my best friend. We're going to have a weekend away and we'll be gone for a week so that you can collect your stuff and move out.
What a fucking cunt. What a cunt.
Bye. Bye.
He's like, have fun. Bye.
Enjoy moving.
And so she just happens to run into Miles, Petra's ex, and she's like, hang on a second, you're going to have space at your apartment. She was like, thoughts on us just like me moving in with you? And she's like, it won't be for long.
Yep.
Just a temporary thing. So they move in together, and then they obviously get to know one another, and then they start flirting, and
one thing leads to another. We're not gonna give anything away for this one because it's book club.
Fine. Goes against everything I believe in.
It's book club.
So, thoughts.
I went into it, everyone will know, thinking that I'm gonna potentially DNF this book because I do not like romance. I can't get behind it. It doesn't tickle my pickle. It's not my jam.
I don't understand why you don't like romance.
I just don't. It just doesn't, like, it bores me.
Okay.
It bores me. And I think, like, my qualm with it is especially ones where, like, you know that they like each other, but there's just no open communication.
Love it.
And no one is telling them how one another feels. That fucking pisses me off.
I love it.
It fucking pisses me off. This book, though, pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought at the beginning the plot and, like, the premise of it was really cliched and really boring. And Daphne at the beginning, she doesn't have a personality of her own and she doesn't have any hobbies. So that pissed me off as well. Because I was like, just do something. Like,
yeah,
come on, girl, work with me.
I will say, I feel like the overarching storyline and like the characters, like Daphne, for example, she loves books. She's a librarian. She dresses frumpy. She's like, you know, beige, right? And I'm like, oh, this is so...
It's been done.
It's been done. I feel like a lot of authors, particularly female authors who are writing general lit or like romance novels, this is their go-to female lead because it's like, how can someone really hot and exciting be into her? And it's boring. It's not exciting. It's not relatable. It's boring.
But I got to admit, though, once the story kind of evolves a bit more and you get more into it, it kind of makes sense why she doesn't have hobbies and she doesn't really like have a life for herself.
Yeah.
Because of like her past experiences. But I think the more that I got into the book, the more I got into the book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Particularly as it focused more on like character relationships and less on like who they are individually.
Yeah.
Like I love two things. I love a male written by a woman and I love a will they won't they trope. And Miles was beautiful. Like dream kind of scenario.
Yeah. This book made me realize that there is nothing hotter in a man than being able to have open communication and being able to tell people how you feel.
Yeah.
Unreal. Must be nice.
I just liked that he was so nice and so kind to everyone around him. And he was very intentional in the things that he did. Like...
And like, and then like when people remember little things about you.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Like when he remembered that like her coffee order. And like that she does story time or whatever on Saturdays. And he was so supportive
of it and like really enjoyed. I love that, but for me it was like the little things that he did, like when he took the day off work because he knew that she'd be upset. That I was like sold.
Love that.
That's the man for me. Or like what he did with her dad.
Yeah.
Sold. Like that. They're the things that win me over. Is like the intentional doing things without having to be asked.
Yeah, 100%.
That mean a lot. Obsessed. So when we picked this, I wanted a palette cleanser because we've read a lot of like intense shit, and this was the perfect palette cleanser.
Agreed.
I will say I don't think I could read a lot like Emily Henry books back to back.
No.
And I'm not going to say it's like my favorite book that I've ever read because I personally like I love romance, but my favorite style of book is a fantasy book like Fourth Wing or ACOTAR with romance mixed into it. So there's like adventure. The man isn't just like Miles. Like imagine Miles, but he's a bat boy,
Yeah.
and he's like dangerous and like could kill people and like love that. But for what we wanted, which was a palate cleanser, this was really good. And it was an easy read. It was a quick read.
Yeah.
Like, no issues with it.
I think Emily Henry also does dialogue between the characters really well.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the books that I've read within this genre, like, it's very fucking cringy. Like, for example, fucking Icebreaker. Any single bit of dialogue between a male and a female character, I'm like, there's no fucking way anyone on the entire fucking planet is saying that. That is vile.
Yeah, I agree.
Third level of my haunted house.
Yeah.
But this was really witty and really funny and just really sharp, and I absolutely love the dialogue.
It was good.
But yeah, like you said, the plot is cliche. Like, it's been done before. Will they, won't they? Fake dating, you know. But they're tropes for a reason.
Yeah.
They tickle something in my brain.
If you just want an
If you do it right, like this book has made me realize that if you do it right, I can kind of support a romance.
It's interesting that for you, this is like doing it right.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like for me, Fourth Wing.
Yeah, Fourth Wing, yeah, that did that, but I feel like that's fantasy more than what it is romance.
Yeah. Fourth
Like,
Wing's
I
like
feel
the
like-
perfect book in my eyes.
Romance was like a subgenre for that book.
Okay. Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if-
definitely.
All that you're doing is romance.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a really good one.
I think it also helped that the characters were in their 30s.
Oh yeah, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that they were our age. If
Yeah.
older, actually.
Yeah. That definitely helps. So I feel refreshed.
Yeah, definitely.
My palate
Yeah.
cleanse. I gave this 3 stars.
I gave it 3.5.
Also, a great feature of Fable is you can give it 3.5.
3.25, 75.
whatever you fucking
We
want.
go on quarters, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't do that on fucking Goodreads, can ya? Dirty
This is
dogs.
me to Goodreads. Fuck ya.
Yeah.
Fuck yourself, Goodreads. Okay, so then I've picked 2 books that I want to throw into.
So this
the
is
ring.
our picks for like the next book that we read.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we'll
Not book club.
We'll read quite a few.
This is for
during the
Delulu
month.
content.
Yeah, but we'll always just have the one
It's a
for the
content
month.
read. Yeah.
But what we'll also do with book club is we will like get people to submit their recommendations, and we'll end up putting a poll together in Fable in the book club,
Yeah.
and everyone can vote because
Yeah.
this book club's more than just about us.
No, yeah. We already read what we want to read.
Yeah, but this pick right now is for us.
Yeah. So
And
everyone, listen.
We've got 2 picks each. Mine I found through Fable using their like search functions.
Okay. These ones, oddly enough, I have wanted to read, and Fable came up with it as selections for me from that quiz.
Interesting. There was a couple of mine from my list that came up that I almost selected, but the reason why I didn't is because the page counts were quite long.
Okay.
And I was
Fair.
like, let's not do that.
No. Good idea.
Okay, let's go one for one.
Okay, you can go first.
Okay, so my first pick is one called My Friend Leonard by James Frey. So, in a compelling tale of a son's recovery from addiction, aided by a mobster mentor, emotions run high and careers flourish until a mysterious disappearance changes everything. So, I wanted like a lit fiction vibe
Okay. All right.
that was like moving, like pretty intense.
Okay.
Like now that I've had my palate cleanser, I was like, I want to throw something into the ring that was like probably going to make me cry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's my first pick.
All right. Okay. So, completely opposite end of the spectrum, I picked The Exorcist House by Nick Roberts.
Okay.
I'm going to read you the synopsis.
Yeah.
In the summer of 94, psychologist Daniel Hill buys a rustic farmhouse nestled in the rolling hills of West Virginia. Along with his wife and teenage daughter, the family uproot their lives in Ohio and move south. They are initially seduced by the natural beauty of the country setting. That soon changes when they discover a hidden room in the basement within a well, boarded shut and abandoned with crucifixes. The local legends about the previous owner being an exorcist come to light, but by then all hell is broken loose. This 1990s horror novel is perfect for fans of family thriller books, stories of demonic possession, exorcism fiction, the occult, or thrillers. Yeah.
Dude, and I've just searched it and it's part of the Kindle Unlimited membership.
Yeah, so it's free.
So it's free. So Add to library. That actually, I'm adding it to library.
And
anyway.
there's this girl on TikTok. I'll send you her TikTok because
Yeah.
her recommendations are absolutely unreal. She read this for Halloween last month and she said that she doesn't scare very easy, but this book was one of the scariest books she's ever read.
Interesting, because I was looking for a horror, but it wasn't really giving me anything that I wanted. So my next pick, this is the closest I got to a horror, it's called Mothering by Ainsley Hogarth.
I reckon I've seen
A darkly funny horror about Abby, haunted by the vengeful ghost of her mother-in-law. With a chilling plan, she aims to save her husband and herself.
Yes, I've seen. I think this is on my TBR as well.
So that was my next pick.
Yep. My next one is going for old and faithful. Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanagh, and it's a thriller. One dark evening on New York City's Upper West Side, two strangers meet by chance. Over drinks, Amanda and Wendy realize they have much more in common, especially loneliness and an intense desire for revenge against the men who destroyed their families. As they talk into the night, they come up with the perfect plan. If you kill for me, I'll kill for you. In another part of the city, Ruth is home alone when the beautiful stone brown she shares with her husband Scott is invaded. She's attacked by a man with piercing blue eyes who disappears into the night. Will she ever be able to feel safe again while the blue-eyed stranger is out there? Intricate, heart-racing, and from an author who is the real deal, Kill for Me, Kill for You will keep you breathless until the final pages.
Interesting.
Female revenge.
I kind of already know which one I want to go with.
Okay, ready? Let's say... Yeah, okay. I know what the one that I want to read. Okay, ready?
Okay, ready?
Three, 2, 1.
The Exorcist House.
Yeah! I want to be spooked.
Same! I want to be spooked!
Yeah.
I want to be
okay.
spooked. Okay, so we're going to read that next. I have a confession to make. So everyone knows that I started throwing a glass about 25 years ago.
I saw this on your Instagram.
The funny story, when I say it was a palate cleanser, it was really a fucking palate cleanser. I have picked up the Throne of Glass series again.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm up to Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms, for those who are not aware. I am about 70% of the way through each.
Close. You're so
Thank you.
close.
I honestly think
power through.
that if I do nothing else for the next 36 hours,
power through,
I can finish it.
Yeah.
So my aim is I'm going to finish both books by the end of Monday, which when this episode comes out, like Monday night. And then that way, I think once I do that and the Band-Aid's ripped off, because I know that Kingdom of Ash is meant to be like insane.
You'll get back into it, yeah.
And then I can finish the series. I can't, I'm not DNFing it.
You have to keep going.
I have to finish it.
You have to keep going.
And then I am missing a bit of fantasy. I'm craving it now. And so I'll finish this and then I can read the other series that she has out.
Crescent City.
But like the thrillers, because they're such big books.
That's so thick.
I'm going to do them in the background alongside like the easy books that we read. Yeah. Because they're so big. They're going to take me forever. So that's me. But yes, come join us on Fable. Please. Honestly, I'm having the best time and I'm just going to keep posting my thoughts.
I want everyone to post what they think about the books that we choose. And I want to read what other people want to read. Yeah,
we want people's recommendations. I want to know like
I will read anything, even if I hate the genre. I will read anything.
Yeah, same.
Oh God.
And it's just fun to yap and share your thoughts in real time. Mm-hmm. Like I love in my Kindle when you can highlight things and note it. I do that all the time. And like my go-to is I'll highlight it and go, oh, I'll comment.
Interesting.
But now
we can do that in fucking Fable.
If you click when you go to like post in one of the chapters or whatever in our book club and you scan, you can and then you click quote, you can scan the text on your Kindle and it automatically pulls it, so you don't even have to write it, and then you just go generate.
Oh my God, the future is now. Honestly, this app.
I did it with a quote from Funny Story. I don't know if you saw it, and I read that and I went,
yeah, the spicy one. Yeah.
I went,
love.
Okay.
Obsessed.
Love. So yes, I will be doing a lot of that. But yes, it'll take a minute to for it to, I think, gain traction. and everyone to get used to it because it's still fresh. But yes, highly recommend.
Love it.
Coming to join us.
Love it.
And you can see what we're watching as well. That one will be updated way more regularly because like it's not going to take people a fucking month to watch Territory.
I mean, speak for yourself.
You need to watch it. And that's it, my dudes.
That's all, folks.
I hope everyone has the best week.
Have a great week.
And we will see you next week. But now you can come hang out with us on Fable.
Yeah.
So like, sorry, but
Yeah.
not sorry.
Move convo over there. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's take this offline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Love you. Bye.